Since the early days of statehood, oil has fueled Oklahoma's economy.
Production taxes on the oil and natural gas industry make up about 55% of our state revenue. In segment 2, a look at Oklahoma's oil and gas industry from the ground to the pump.
My mother's maiden name.
For 50 years, the corner of 21st and Lewis in Midtown Tulsa has been home to a family-run service station. Reeder's is unique in a lot of ways. It still offers full service. And the owner, Ross Reeder, knows the oil industry inside and out.
For 20 years, I've worked for Helmerich & Payne International Drilling Company. In the last 3 years, I've joined my wife in owning the family business here.
You would sign this for me, please.
He says most of his customers probably really never consider all that goes into pulling oil from the ground, turning it into gas, and getting it to the pump. But he knows it's no easy task.
The technology and the people it takes to get to this point is tremendous.
It all starts with exploration and drilling, and currently Oklahoma has about 83,000 working oil wells. Most people understand Oklahoma's an energy state, but they may not realize just how big it is because much of what goes on happens underneath the ground. In fact, underneath the soil of Oklahoma, there are pipelines crisscrossing the state. When oil does come above the ground, it's generally stored in tanks like these behind me here. And just to show you how big it is, when full, one of these large oil storage tanks can hold up to $25 million worth of crude. Most oil in the Sooner State goes through pipelines to Cushing. Just off Main Street in Cushing, you'll find literally one oil storage tank farm after another. And many companies are expanding. They're building all these tanks over here, which shows there's a lot of growth going on right here in Cushing.
There's a lot of growth going on in Cushing, and it's creating a lot of direct and indirect jobs.
Congressman John Sullivan is vice chair of the Energy and Power Subcommittee. He knows how important oil and gas is to Oklahoma. According to OERB, 1 in 7 jobs in Oklahoma is directly or indirectly supported by the oil and gas industry. That's about 300,000 workers. Oil and gas producers will pay to the state roughly $1 billion in gross production taxes this year, and it has a total economic impact of $23.8 billion a year. But there are obstacles. The oil spill last year in the Gulf, environmental concerns about natural gas drilling, and high prices at the pump have energy experts looking for alternatives. So what does that mean for an energy state like Oklahoma? Congressman John Sullivan says it's not all bad news.
As we move forward in the energy industry, looking at different ways to do things, it's going to create jobs, it's going to help our community, and it's going to help this area as well.
From Cushing, oil flows through pipelines to refineries, including the 2 in Tulsa owned by the Hawley Corporation. Here, crude is refined to various products like jet fuel and gasoline. Then it's piped to distribution points, like this one in West Tulsa, owned by Magellan, where gas is blended with ethanol and loaded into tanker trucks.
It's a 24/7 operation.
Mike Mears is the CEO of Magellan Midstream Partners. He says the Tulsa-based distribution company has roughly 1,200 workers who help store and move oil and gas.
We load approximately 200 to 250 trucks a day through this facility, which is about 1.8 million gallons a day.
From here, gas is trucked to places like Reeder's Service Center. Ross Reeder takes great pride in the role he plays in keeping Oklahoma moving. But he says at the end of the day, there's something more important.
I think it's the people. I mean, you know, the people side, if you're on a drilling rig, you know, working, it's the people in the drilling rig, and if you're with the public, it's the people that you see every day, day in, day out, that are buying your product.
He believes focusing on people.
Do you want us to do it on the full service side? Or
the oil industry can tackle whatever challenges are ahead. Now, we also talked with Brad Carson, who heads the National Energy Policy Institute at the University of Tulsa, and he says we're likely going to see more growth in natural gas as time moves forward, but he says that's going to help keep Oklahoma an energy state for a long time to come.